Okay, so Westmeath had a 115 to 127 defeat at home against Limerick. Some of the big things from this, I suppose, Aaron Gillane, he came on in the 63rd minute, got himself a point. Limerick were 1-100 beforehand. Dermot Burns, he was back, first time that we've seen him. I think he was away up until a couple of weeks ago. Grode Hegarty, he was replaced before throw-in by Tom Morrissey. Mike Casey, he came back his first appearance of the season, and John Kiley said afterwards, Mike and Dermot and Aaron are all very important members of our group. It's really important that we get the requisite amount of game time into them now, because the next 6 or 7 weeks is a really important phase. Westmeath gave Limerick a guard of honour before the game. So it's the 4th game into the league. I see no need for a guard of honour at this stage.
Sure, listen, I don't know. It's usually the first game of the league or the first game of the season that you would do a guard of honour for the reigning All-Ireland champions, and then, you'd absolutely let her into them straight away. I don't know what this was about. Maybe just, I don't know. I'd say it was maybe trying to make an occasion in Westmeath and trying to maybe get more kids to come and create a better atmosphere there on the day or something like that. Maybe I'm not so sure really, but it does kind of spark of, if you're clapping a team coming out before a game, are you admitting defeat before a ball has even been thrown in? Maybe I'm being too cynical there.
It's a bit like all the Offaly pundits for years licking Kilkenny's arse in the media because, you were getting hammered by him, so it was all you had left to do was lick their arses.
In fairness to you, I turned one back on you. You did a good job of turning it back on me. Listen, when push comes to shove, this was always going to be a fair defeat for Westmeath, regardless. I think the bigger talking points is the fact that Aaron Gillane is back in the Limerick squad now, and any talk of them having to find a new focal point at the edge of the square or whatever seems to be redundant now. Whether he'd start maybe the first round of Munster or even the second round is probably debatable, because by all accounts he hasn't been in the squad. I'm not even sure if he was on that training camp in Portugal, but I'd say there's a lot of people in Limerick kind of breathing a sigh of relief to have him back, because he is probably their most important player based on how they play and what he's able to offer to them at the edge of the square.
Yeah, so some of the very changed team. Ronan Connolly got game time. Colin Coughlin, Barry Murphy was out around the middle of the field. Cathal O'Neill, he was back. I think he got himself a couple of points. He got 2. Yeah, Donico O'Dowlig, he scored 5. Mike Casey, obviously, as we said, he came in. So very much a changed team, but putting up 127. It's interesting as well. We were looking at some of the different games, and you'd think if you're a team like Limerick and you're going to win by 12 points, that you'd get more than 1 goal in a game. But even that Galway Clare game, there was only 2 goal chances in the entire game. Now, Conor Whelan, he forced the goal chance and he scored brilliantly. And then David Reedy had a brilliant chance. And I'm not entirely convinced it didn't clip off the defender's leg as the defender was falling and then hit the post.
Yeah, I didn't notice that now, but that would have maybe changed the game potentially for Clare. From a Limerick point of view, one thing I've noticed down through the recent years, if they wanted to, they could put up like a crazy score against, would say, Offaly last year, against Westmeath a couple of years ago, and probably against Westmeath yesterday. But that doesn't really seem to be the modus operandi. If you're talking about heavy training loads, I'd say of all the teams, they would probably have had the heaviest of training loads coming into this weekend. And I'm sure that was quite pointed as well, because they knew to be able to get in a good block of training in Portugal or wherever they were, probably train 2 or 3 times a day. But they've never felt the need, or it never looked like they felt the need to really turn the screw on opposition that they're clearly superior to, if you get me. They don't feel the need to hit 7 goals and win by 40 points, even though they could if they wanted to.